Hi guys, JT here, and today I'm bringing you some information on 10 games in Fanatical's Indie Showcase bundle of May 2026. To help you answer the question, should you buy it? By using links in the description below, you'll gain access to this bundle and support the channel in the process. Before I begin, I'd like to thank you the viewers for watching my videos. I hope they're helpful. Most importantly, knowing that you're watching it means the world. Anyway, let's get into this. At number 1 we have Void Miner, Incremental Asteroids Roguelite, a retro-inspired incremental arcade roguelite where you pilot a spacecraft and deploy an automated tower to harvest resources and destroy relentless waves of asteroids and enemies. This central gameplay loop is highly addictive, instantly pulling you into a fast-paced rhythm of blasting hazards, collecting gold, and upgrading your ship. A persistent branching skill tree allows you to systematically boost your firepower, unlock new weapons like a double laser, and invest heavily in a formidable mothership tank. The progression flows smoothly, allowing you to easily conquer the 15 campaign waves and secure all achievements in a single sitting of roughly 2 to 3 hours. Accompanying your destructive journey is an exceptionally catchy high-energy chiptune soundtrack that elevates the spacefaring vibe. However, the experience feels a bit shallow and lacks long-term depth. The entire game takes place on a single map, causing the visuals and enemy patterns to feel highly repetitive after the first hour. Meta progression relies heavily on basic numerical stat increases, and a lack of interactive mid-run build choices leaves the strategy feeling uninspired. Furthermore, the oxygen timer relies too heavily on luck-based resource drops, which can abruptly ruin a run. Poor UI scaling also creates visual clutter, making it easy to lose your crosshair amid the flashing gold pickups and incoming projectiles. The content of the game feels a bit sparse, but it shines an incredibly engaging bite-sized palate cleanser if you manage to grab it in a bundle. At number 2 we have Flickshot Rogues, a tactile physics-based roguelike that reimagines turn-based dungeon crawling as a high-stakes game of combat billiards. You take command of a shipwrecked crew on a mysterious island, but instead of choosing a text from a menu, you physically flick your characters across small arena-style boards. Using a catapult mechanic, you aim and pull back to send your heroes spinning into enemies, ricocheting off walls, and triggering explosive combos that turn the battlefield into a chaotic, satisfying mess. The core of your strategy lies in the unique abilities of your pirate team. You can switch between characters mid-battle, choosing the right tool for the job, whether that is a swashbuckler dealing contact damage or a companion who drops area of effect bombs. As you progress through a branching Slay the Spire style map, you collect trinkets and artifacts that synergize to create game-breaking power-ups, such as spreading fire or lightning damage through ricochets. You must also contend with the champion system, where targeting specific elite enemies can clear the entire board in a single well-placed trick shot. While the game features a charming hand-drawn art style and an intuitive mouse-only control scheme, you may find the difficulty spike quite steep. The arenas get crowded quickly, and some players feel the meta progression can be slow. However, if you enjoy the marriage of precision physics and roguelike depth, Flickshot Rogues offers a just one more run loop that is incredibly difficult to put down. It is a fresh, inventive take on a genre. At number 3 we have Athenian Rhapsody, a surreal comedic RPG that invites you to embark on a journey through the vibrant and unhinged world of Athens. From the moment you begin with a bizarre personality test, the game sets a tone of unapologetic strangeness. Drawing inspiration from classics like Earthbound and Undertale, it carves out its own unique identity through an eclectic mix of humor, art, and innovative systems. The core experience revolves around the Rhapsody system, which records your specific choices, interactions, and even your protagonist's farts to create a one-of-a-kind digital save file. You can share these Rhapsodies with friends, emphasizing that no two playthroughs are exactly alike. The writing is a star here, packed with absurdist jokes, puns, and surreal encounters that'll likely keep you grinning. Whether you're being shoved off a waterfall by your own save file, or acting as a wingman for a dismembered cat head, the creativity is relentless. Combat is a fast-paced blend of turn-based strategy and real-time microgames. During enemy turns, you must dodge attacks in WarioWare-style challenges that range from bullet hell patterns to rhythm-based survival. You have the choice to either fight enemies or befriend them through awkward pickup lines and minigames, with some characters even joining your party. While the story is wonderfully nonsensical and sometimes hard to follow, the vibrant pixel art and upbeat chiptune soundtrack tie the experience together. If you enjoy games that embrace the weird and reward curiosity, This unhinged adventure is something you shouldn't miss. At number 4 we have Bogos Binted, a chaotic first-person online multiplayer compilation of twisted tabletop games played by wacky, big-eyed aliens on the moon. It offers a very positive experience for up to 4 players who want to engage in strategic card play, social deduction, and high-stakes bluffing where losing actually means your character's head might explode. You'll find 4 distinct modes in the full version: Zogblorb, a shared total card game; Beeble Meep, a bluffing game where you call out liars; Zinky Zoogle, a fast-paced higher or equal challenge; and Vorp, a hidden roll word game. The full release also introduces Zoggy, a tooth-pulling game mode, alongside a new beach map and cosmetic customization so you can drip out your aliens. Whether you're pulling teeth from a frog monster or spitting on your friends with the best in-game emotes, the focus is strictly on friend-slot fun. However, you should be prepared for a few remaining hurdles. Even with the full launch, the online lobbies still lack filters or visibility for specific game modes, often forcing you to loop between rooms to host your own to avoid idle hosts. Additionally, if you prefer to play solo, note that wins against bots don't currently count toward achievements. Some users have also noted a need for more activities while waiting to respawn after a literal mind-blowing loss. If you have a group of friends and a dark sense of humor, this game is a stylish, eargasm-inducing riot. It is an easy-to-learn, high-cortisol party experience that proves aliens definitely don't play fair. At number 5 we have Caves of Lore, a turn-based grid-style tactical RPG that drops you into a mysterious, fog-shrouded world filled of deep caverns and narrative secrets. You begin your journey as a customizable protagonist searching for your lost dog, only to stumble into a subterranean adventure where you must recruit party members, battle constant enemy threats, and unravel an overarching amnesia plague. The game excels in its intricate character progression systems, offering a satisfying variety of traits, skills, and highly rewarding magic spells that visibly evolve and grow more powerful as you use them in combat. Furthermore, the distinct, highly detailed enemy sprite work features exceptional visual cues that intelligently hint at monster weaknesses. However, your journey will frequently be hindered by a clunky, unintuitive user interface and a severe lack of mechanical communication. Crucial survival mechanics, such as complex camp management functions, lunar cycle tracking, and gear crafting systems, are left largely unexplained, which can quickly lead to immense player frustration and information overload during the early hours of gameplay. The exploration phase also suffers from confusing environmental layouts, where interactive pathways blend far too easily into background walls. Frequent repetitive combat encounters can slow down your progression, and a few technical bugs might occasionally interrupt your session. Despite these notable rough edges, the compelling sense of discovery, excellent fantasy soundtrack, and rich building customization make this budget-friendly title a deeply rewarding experience. For the price of a bundle, you'll easily get 25 hours of engaging gameplay out of a single playthrough. At number 6 we have Pesticide Not Required, a challenging bullet heaven roguelite that distinguishes itself from the post-vampire survivors crowd by blending intense combat with cozy farming, fishing, and mining mechanics. You control a character across runs lasting 15 in-game days, where your primary goal is surviving swarms of enemies while simultaneously managing your homestead. Instead of focusing solely on auto attacks, you plant crops and catch fish to earn experience for stat-altering upgrades, while mining ore and killing foes provides the currency needed to purchase seeds and expanding plots. You're supported by helpful animals, like dogs that collect loot or cats that attack enemies, adding a charming layer to the frantic action. The game offers immense depth through 21 unique characters and a meta progression skill tree fueled by purple gems, which you also use to customize your home. You'll find the synergy between skills highly addictive, often losing track of time as you experiment with different builds. While some weapons like swords or hay bales might feel weak unless you enable twin-stick aiming, the variety of playstyles keep the experience fresh. Achieving 100% completion is a significant undertaking, requiring roughly 30 hours of dedicated effort. You must tackle difficult feats, such as completing runs on the hardest Winter 4 difficulty or defeating bosses in under 5 seconds. Despite the steep challenge of certain achievements, the loop of unlocking new characters and mastering the seasonal difficulties provides a rewarding sense of progression that makes this a standout title within the genre. At number 7 we have Afterplace, a rare kind of adventure game that drops you into a vast forest and completely trusts you to explore its world organically. There are no quest markers, reliable overworld maps, or modern checklists guiding your progress, forcing you to navigate using memory, intuition, and landmarks like a strange tree or an oddly placed vending machine. While this design philosophy can feel disorienting at first, you gradually grow familiar with interconnected paths and hidden shortcuts, transforming an overwhelming world into something deeply personal. The game unfolds its narrative indirectly through accidental encounters, strange conversations with unpredictable NPCs, and environmental oddities rather than traditional direct storytelling. You even have the agency to walk away mid-conversation, adding realism to an environment where characters live their lives independently of your involvement. As you delve deeper, the charming and whimsical tone subtly shifts towards surreal unease, introducing psychological ambiguity and glitching locations that leave mysteries lingering long after the credits roll. Originally built for touchscreen devices, the combat system translates surprisingly well to controllers, prioritizing fluid, responsive sword strikes, simple dodging, and minimal user interface clutter. Aggressive enemies encourage quick movement rather than defensive waiting, keeping battles brief so they never disrupt your exploratory pacing. Light RPG progression, including weapon upgrades, armor purchases, and stat boosts, support your journey without overwhelming you with tedious menus. This game abandons modern conveniences in favor of curiosity, crafting a strange, alive world that leaves a lasting emotional impact. At number 8 we have Projected Dreams, a cozy, nostalgic 3D shadow puppetry puzzle game where you manipulate ordinary objects to piece together a wordless story of childhood memories. You step into a dreamlike changing bedroom representing different phases of the protagonist Senka's life, pulling nostalgic 1990s toys, trinkets, and boxes from the shelves onto a central table. By rotating, tilting, and stacking these objects under a spotlight, your goal is to perfectly align the collective silhouettes they cast against the wall to match a smudge outline from a blurry photo album. The core gameplay loop beautifully marries spatial reasoning with physics, providing a tactile challenge where stacking errors can cause your setup to topple. Each of the 6 chapters thoughtfully introduces unique standalone mechanics, such as dual light resources, a ghost train that makes items invisible to levitate objects, and tools to shrink, enlarge, or glue items together, ensuring the loops stay fresh without stacking stress. While the 3D rotation can occasionally feel clumsy and cause pieces to slip, the game features a brilliantly progressive hint system that reveals needed items or configurations through a photo flip, leaving you in total control of the difficulty. Accompanied by a sentimental adaptive soundtrack, the experience is profoundly gentle, stripped of time pressures, and allow for multiple creative solutions to progress. It serves as a short 3 to 4 hour introspective journey that relies on visual restraint rather than heavy dialogue. You'll find it to be a heartfelt, wonderfully atmospheric exploration of reflection and bittersweet goodbyes. At number 9 we have Auridia, a compelling subterranean Metroidvania that trades traditional combat for exploration, acrobatic traversal, and cosmic mystery. Stripping away standard battles, the gameplay prioritizes flinging yourself through caverns and ancient temples using a stellar intuitive grappling hook alongside a creative suite of thematic abilities. This tight 5-hour journey weaves a deeply unsettling Lovecraftian narrative reminiscent of The Rats in the Walls. Instead of relying on cheap tentacle tropes, it presents a nuanced tale of forgotten gods deep underground, forcing you to decipher lore to make thought-provoking choices that impact the ending. Visually unassuming but highly efficient, the game uses its modest graphics to great effect, crafting an unappealing yet atmospheric world. The minimal combat functions more like clever puzzle solving, ensuring the focus remains entirely on unearthing hidden nooks. While the late-game introduction of annoying obstacles and a partial fast-track lockout bogs down the pacing when you're forced to backtrack through 4 previous areas, completing localized tasks thankfully clears these irritations. For a tiny project, it punches well above its weight by packing incredible quality-of-life features, including clear map markers and endgame collectible finding tools that rival saturated market competitors. Backed by an exceptional, mysterious soundtrack and tight controls, it manages to feel like a polished, intentional masterpiece. If you grew up reading classic horror and appreciate genre-defining mechanics, this hidden gem is an absolute must-play. Grappling hooks make any game twice as good, and this brilliant homage easily secures its place straight into the absolute S tier. At number 10 we have Troublemaker and Night Loops and Defend Earth Xenos Survivors Triple Pack, a diverse indie compilation delivering 3 distinct experiences ranging from high school brawling to psychological horror and chaotic sci-fi action. The bundle kicks off with Troublemaker, a third-person action-adventure set in an Indonesian vocational school where you guide student Budi through an over-the-top tournament-style gangfight club. While its traits promise social simulation for repetitive brawling, a janky narrative filled with pop culture memes and cartoonish cutscenes, its sheer ridiculousness, satisfying upgrades, and endearing cast make it an incredibly charming, bite-sized alternative to massive open-world beat-em-ups. Next, Nightloop shifts the tone to a surreal, melancholic psychological horror adventure inside an endlessly looping hotel. As a night shift attendant trapped before dawn, you must solve guest-related puzzles, absorb minimal but impactful dialogue, and collect psychic masks that grant progression-altering abilities. Though the rhythm sequences cannot be skipped and a slow start may leave you feeling temporarily lost, the atmospheric pixel art, haunting soundtrack, and cryptic branching paths make hunting for the true ending addictive. Finally, Defend Earth Xenos Survivors rounds out the package as a polished, fast-paced bullet hell roguelite. Standing as Earth's final defense, you choose unique agents to blast through escalating waves of evolving alien threats in frantic 10 to 20 minute runs. While the sci-fi aesthetics and loop are inherently repetitive, permanent skill tree upgrades offer a rewarding sense of progression. It serves as an accessible, adrenaline-pumping, and highly customizable entry point for genre veterans and newcomers alike. And that's all for this bundle. This bundle is a total dub for Steam Deck grinders. For just $7.49 to $15.75, you can draft absolute gems like Pesticide Not Required, Flickshot Rogues, and Caves of Lore. While some sweatlords are complaining about the regional pricing metadata compared to other storefronts, the pure replayability and verified handheld performance make this a major level up. Pick your favorite squad of 3, 5, or 7 bangers, and let's secure this loot. In any case, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if this video was helpful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and maybe consider buying the channel a coffee. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.